Oh, yeah, fans. Stuffy is back. I'm wearing a beret because, hey, it makes me a better film critic. And we keep forgetting the wristwatch check. I'm going with the Casio World Timer. This watch may be under $30, but it is one of my favorites, and I don't care. And in true RCW fashion, I have not set the time since we had daylight savings time. So, yeah, we got another great top three for you. And really, to clarify, our top threes are more like the Baker dozen of top 10 lists because there's 4 of us. So there's really 12 picks. So I'm going to just go right to it, baby. My number 3 position is Eminem's mom. Not Kim Basinger, but Eminem's actual mom. Just kidding. My first pick
it's a good Michigan pick.
My first pick is Kill Bill. But I'm going with Bill. So what's cool about the first flick that came out in 2003 is they talk about Bill, but you really don't meet Bill or get the backstory till the 2004 Kill Bill Volume 2. So it's played by David Carradine. I hope I'm saying that right. Born in 1936. He died. His death is actually pretty interesting. He died in 2009 at the age of 72. And it's listed as accidental asphyxiation. But come on, guys. He was naked in a closet in Bangkok. No better way to go, but we know what was going on there.
The hell of an orgasm.
Isn't that David Carradine?
Yeah, David Carradine. What did I say?
I don't know.
Yeah, I butchered it. Yeah, I tried to, Stuffy is French. I tried to enunciate. So another cool fact about him, because of the movies and TV shows he played in, he was often mistaken for Asian, even though he was not. He was born in L.A. And, hey, I don't know. I feel bad for people that are mistaken for Asian. That may or may not have happened to me in Myrtle Beach in 98. Well, yeah, number 3 position, man. David Carradine from Kill Bill, buddy, playing Bill.
Mr. Stuffy, did you like the sequel better?
Yeah, sequels are a big part of this channel, man. Young Guns 2 for life.
Paul, it's a great pick. Something I don't say often on this show. Bill is a patient, wise enemy, and they are to be feared. No diggity.
Yeah, that part where he says the line, "Oh no, this was me at my most masochistic." That is some deep shit right there, man.
Scary.
Not too many people can say that and be liked and praised for it. Like we're glorifying it right now. We're basically glorifying villains right now.
Well, first of all, this is it's a
segue. It's a segue into my number 3 pick.
Oh.
Which is from the movie Casino, which came out in 1995, and it is Joe Pesci's character as Nicky Santoro, which is loosely based off a real-life version of a mafioso from the Chicago Outfit crime organization, which real name was Tony Spilotro. He was glorified throughout the whole movie and kind of loved, I think, by maybe some people, because some people didn't think he was really a villain. But he robbed people, he killed people for no reason, for his own benefit. Also, he kind of had the best line in the movie too, which was kind of the fate of him at the end of the movie, which was, in the end, we bleeped it all up. Which he did, because he ended up being in a cornfield in a ditch. But it's Nicky Santoro is my 3rd pick, if anybody's seen the movie Casino. And he was a little hothead, which Joe Pesci played great as hotheads. And he was a real hothead in real life, which I think is the real Tony Spilotro's name was the Ant. But it was the Piss Ant. And it was given by an FBI agent at the time. So some people don't think he's a villain. I don't know what makes a villain, but he sure fits the criteria for me.
He was an angry little Italian. I will tell you that.
Well, I think some of the reasons why we are arguing about villain is it's hard to pick a villain when the entire movie, they're all really bad guys. They're all mobsters, gangsters. Same thing with Kill Bill. I mean, how can you say Bill's a villain, really, when they're all assassins? They all killed people for money. So really, it's a movie of villains, and you just happen to pick what you think is the main villain, I guess.
Well, right. It's glorified, you know. I mean, obviously in movies and everything and TV shows, we glorify villains sometimes.
Remind me to go back and count how many times you use the word glorified in your...
Well, it's true, though. It's true. And it's kind of a new, within the last 20 years of when we actually had TV shows and movies about villains that we liked.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Who's going in the third position here with their number 3?
I don't mind going. It's a good pick, Carp. He bleeped his best friend's wife, too.
He did.
And bleeped his best friend any chance he could. He's a hell of a guy.
Would you call him a villain?
Yeah, I'd call him a villain. I'm kicking off my list by heading to the final frontier where no man has gone before, hitting up Star Trek. I'm going to use a quote from Spock to introduce this fella. Maybe I won't because I can't remember. Oh, yeah, here we go. Khan Noonien Singh is the most dangerous adversary that the Enterprise ever faced. He's brilliant, ruthless, and will not hesitate to kill every single one of you. It's Khan, baby. He's a nasty son of a gun. I'm going with the Benedict Cumberbatch version. That quote is from J.J. Abrams' reprise of the Star Trek group. Big fan of what he's done with that, even the third one. I think it's really good stuff. This guy has the strength of 5 human beings, the cunning of 10 jungle cats, and the ruthlessness of 20 politicians. He's a bad mofo. He crushed RoboCop's head in the movie. And I'm a little worried that RC Oldman W prefers the Ricardo Montalban original version of Khan. And I'm hoping that he'll be able to spin a yarn from when he paid a nickel to see Wrath of Khan at the picture show. So with that, Khan! From the movie.
I do like in the new ones, and what goes right through my head is, and I think we've talked about this before, when he says, you know, when they ask, who are you, what's your name, he just, Khan. Very evil, very vindictive.
I will say that's going to be pretty decisive amongst the fans, I'm guessing. I mean, going against the original to go with the new one, that's out there, Q Diggity.
Oh, yeah, I'm with the new one. I'm with you.
I think we got a little man crush on Cumberbatch. I believe I mentioned him in another episode where I said his re-release of the Sherlock Holmes series was better than some of the originals.
I remember that, Paul, and I don't want to say it, but he's going to push you to a limit on a dance-off too, buddy. I've seen him work.
Well, great pick, fellas. I'm going to preface something before I go into my pick. We talked about this before we started this video. Everybody's going to be wondering, where is Hans Gruber on the list? Trust us, we all love Hans Gruber, but he's not going to be on our list. It's almost like picking Stairway to Heaven. So everybody out there, we love Hans Gruber. He's a great villain, but he's not on anybody's list. So just to let you know. All right, I'm going to start off with my number 3, and it is going to be Biff Tannen from how could you not like Biff Tannen? You're talking 2 movies of greatness. Now, the third movie, I think he's in at the end, but it's actually his long-lost grandfather, Mad Dog Tannen. But Biff, oh, God, so many great lines. Just a jerk. And I don't know, guys. Wilmer has a couple funny lines that are one of his favorite, or RCW, I might say.
The fourth wall's always out the window. The fourth wall, we can't ever remember it.
Your joke is about as funny as a screen door on a battleship, Jay Google. So,
well, I always make like a tree and get out of here. Now, if people don't know this, RCW has been known to kind of mix up a little few jokes here and there, but it's not his fault. He tries hard.
Yeah, and it's actually Buford Mad Dog Tannen, and I don't think it was his grandfather. I think it was a little more distant than that.
Well, yeah, it's somewhere down the line. I'm not sure, but the evilness ran inside the Tannen
that
blood.
family.
Yeah. Well,
but the
clearly,
best
I thought
was,
Griff was kind of the meanest.
Well,
Griff
it
was
was
terrible.
It was the Wild West time, so things were a little more escalated. But, yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I'm talking about the future with Griff.
yeah, future Griff was kind of a jerk, but come on, Buford Mad Dog Tannen shoots, Doc in the back over a matter of $80.
Well, he didn't.
Let's not forget the original Biff.
The past.
Let's not forget the original Biff did try to run over Marty McFly and kill him. He did.
Well, yeah, and he tried to change time.
He did. To benefit himself.
Yes, which is terrible.
That was my number 3, guys. Let's kick it back over to Paul Stuffy and see what he's got for a second.
Real quick, Jay Goobles, and just to settle this argument, Biff, Griff, Tiff, I think time is the true enemy. So, anyways, yeah, and I just wasted its time. All right, there we go. Shit.
So, much like we discussed Hans Gruber, we almost, had duplicates of this villain. And I'm talking about the actor, born in London, England in 1958, Gary Oldman. He played so many villains, he could appear on this list all 12 times. Great villain, but I am going with True Romance. Not only is this a great film, but he plays a crazy pimp with dreadlocks called Drexel Spivey. But really, you could go with Gary. I also love Dracula, Bram Stoker's Fifth Element. John was going to pick him from another movie, Leon the Professional, where he plays the villain. So just Gary Oldman's a great actor, and RCW can chime in on the one time he wasn't a villain.
Yep, Commissioner Gordon. That's a good good going right into what I'm going to go into. Also, I'm sitting here when I think of that Charlie Brown scene from the movie when he's sitting there with the chandelier. I wish I had a chandelier here right now, and I think Hugh Diggity was kind of doing the same thing. He saw me moving. It's every time it's brought up, I think of that scene.
I know I'm pretty.
But going back to Commissioner Gordon, it's not going to go to the movie actually with Gary. It's actually the original 1989 Batman movie, The Joker of Jack Nicholson. And the movie was called Jack Napier, Batman's arch enemy. A lot of great lines in that movie, too, with Jack. Jack is dead, my friend. You can call me the Joker, and as you see, I'm a whole lot happier. With the winged freak terrorizes, when do they get a load of me? Then he just laughs. Charming character, sadistic, evil, kind of an all-time bad guy. If you go into history through comics and movies, Joker's going to be up there. Also, Hugo Blick, played the original, the younger Joker in the original Batman movie, which is kind of overlooked because it's a pretty good. I thought he did a pretty good scene with it as being the younger Joker. Hugo Blick. I didn't know that until I started researching this. And David Bowie was actually an option for the Joker. So the Joker is my second pick.
I almost
Jack
feel
Nicholson, Jack Nicholson actually made $90 million in that movie where he turned down a $10 million. He said, no, I'll take $6 million, but I want a percentage of the movie and I want a percentage of all of the merchandise with it too. So Jack really made out with it. And of course, he said it was one of his favorite roles. I don't know if it was because of the money or being the Joker or just both, but I would guess it's probably both. I would say a little more towards the money part.
Yeah, he not only got merchandising, I believe he got a back end in other Batman movies that he wasn't even in. He wanted to be bought into the franchise. I remember hearing in an interview. And my favorite line.
Yeah, you got a percentage of the movie and the merchandise. And I don't know if it went into just all of the trademark Batman stuff, but that's a good question. I didn't.
Sounds like a sinister deal.
Yeah, and my favorite line is, did you ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight? Even before he turned into the Joker, he used that line just to be mess with people. He didn't even know what it meant. He just liked to say it to mess with people.
Yeah, because he didn't care. It's just something cool that he thought that he could, kill people with. So
you could have picked any Joker, but yeah, Jack Nicholson was the original on the silver screen. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that.
Yeah, just real quick, it's hard to go wrong with any Joker. They've all been great. Heath Ledger was great. Joaquin Phoenix and Jack Nicholson have all done it really well.
Cesar Romero is the original Joker and was crazy and great.
Yeah, but unless you're 80 years old, ain't no one remember Cesar Romero.
Hey, we got YouTube. Obviously, you can go back and look at everything. You can watch everything now. Surprise, surprise.
RCWW2, back to living in the past. And is it White Boy Night, Paul? I don't think it's White Boy Night. It's from the boy. Well, forget it. Anyways, I'll go up next with my number 2. It's my favorite position. I'm going with Colonel Nathan R. Jessup, United States Marine Corps. From the movie A Few Good Men. It's one of my favorite roles of Jack Nicholson. Without question, his best villain role. There's no doubt about that. This guy is a unapologetic egomaniac. He ordered his guys to shave a dude's head and give him noogies. They end up killing him, and he just considered it addition by subtraction. That's a cold, cold dude. He's so smug. He's condescending. He bullied Tom Cruise all while throwing a Me Too at Demi Moore. It's the best lynch scene I've ever seen in my life. Forget when Harry left Sally. It's absolutely fantastic. I can take the bullets, the bombs, and the blood. I don't want money, and I don't want medals. What I want is for you to stand there in that fruity white uniform in your Harvard mouth and extend me some flippin' courtesy. He's a badass, baby.
Hey, you want him on that wall. You need him on that wall. That's all I got to say. It's a great pick.
Did we ever find out if they could handle the truth, though? I don't think we ever found out if they could handle the truth.
They were entitled.
Did we run this by the council? Is he a villain?
It was a late ad by me. I was going to do Heath Ledger's Joker to try to rub it in RCW's face, and I decided to go another avenue.
Hey, Jack Nicholson in that movie, to me, is a villain. I don't know. Some people might not think he's a villain. I do.
Mm-hmm. He's a villain, baby.
That's cute. Well, anyway, let's move it along here, fellas. First off, I want to say, Stuffy, Gary Oldman is a first ballot Hall of Famer when it comes to playing villains. So you're going to pick any one of his, and that would have been awesome to me. I am going to go with my number 2 pick, Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. Look at that dude's haircut. That is a haircut of a psychotic killer. Is it not? Talk about a mean, ruthless. You don't even know exactly what his motive is. He wants the money, but like the things he does is beyond money. I mean, he's judging. He's trying to find out if he's going to kill people by flipping a coin. The guy's insane. He looks insane. He acts insane. Walk around with his shotgun and his bolt thing that kills cattle. I mean, who even thinks about that character anyway? I mean, I don't know. Number 2 for me, guys. I love him and I hate him, but he's a great character.
He was smart too. When he goes in, when he gets shot and he gets all the medicine, he just scoops everything in the medicine at the pharmacy and fixes himself up. Well, and with that haircut, it's kind of a COVID haircut right now, what we got going on here, that we can't get haircuts. He's kind of fitting in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is a crazy, wacky haircut. And, yeah, he was a smart guy. I mean, he was, probably – I don't know. You know what? I have no idea what he was ever thinking in that damn movie. All I know is he was crazy. And especially the end of the movie, when you think it's over, but yet he has to go back and kill Llewellyn's wife. Dude, heartbreaking. I hate him, but I still love him as a character.
Straight sociopath, Jay Goebbels. The guy's nuttier than squirrel turds. No Country for Old Balls. It's a fantastic flick. Check it out, baby.
Yeah. All right, fellas, let's turn it back around and get Stuffy's number 1 pick.
Okay, another reason this hat ties in. It would be better if it was Kango, but I'm going with Samuel L. Jackson. I'm not going with Deep Blue Sea because a shark ate him. I'm not going with Jurassic Park because a raptor ate him. I am going with the 2000 M. Night Shyamalan Unbreakable. I'm talking about his character, Elijah Price, a.k.a. Mr. Glass. Now, this movie is in true Shyamalan fashion. Shyamalan is known for his twist endings. This one, he actually holds it off to the end. I mean, that Sam Jackson's character is kind of a creep, kind of an outcast, but you don't realize that he committed horrible mass murder, derailing trains, blowing up planes, blowing up hotels, just to find his opposite in Bruce Willis. And then another amazing thing is that almost 20 years go by, and they make another movie in 2019, Glass, and it's just as good, man. And just a quick fact: born in 1948, Washington D.C. So yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, great villain, but also a great actor.
Hey, Stuffy, you made one of our biggest fans so happy with that pick. Cowboy Mike that'd probably be one of his favorite villains. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's so unique too. A guy that's bones are so brittle, they break all the time, but he's so, evil genius, smart.
Straight sinister, Stuffy. The guy's trying to create his own comic book. He's a huge comic book fan. He's causing mayhem all over the place to find some dude that might have some superpowers, so he's got an adversary. That's cool, baby.
Yeah, it's great.
It's cold. All right, RC Dub. Why don't you take us back to the 50s?
How about I bring you like 20 years later to 1971 from Dirty Harry. This bad guy's name is Scorpio. And most people probably don't know it, but Scorpio was one of the baddest bad guys ever in a movie, and it was played by Andrew Robinson, and he actually got death threats because he played the character so bad. Dirty Harry, also known as Inspector Harry Callahan, played by only Clint Eastwood, is trying to track this sadistic, deranged serial killer who is killing kids and women. And the opening scene, he has a sniper rifle and he kills a woman swimming a pool on a rooftop apartment building. Throughout the movie, he does terrible things, and Harry catches up to him and arrests him, abuses him a little bit, and by all purposes outside of a movie and Harry being a police officer, inspector, cop, he would have been fired and probably charged what he did to this character. But this character deserved it all. And it's Scorpio. The music is terrible every time he comes up. His dress, he's just a spooky person. And when he gets caught by people, he's the biggest baby too. The biggest crybaby whiner, which makes it great to me. And yeah, Scorpio. Check it out if you haven't seen it. The original Dirty Harry movie played by Clint Eastwood is the Inspector Callahan.
And one of the most iconic lines of all time at the end of Scorpio's demise.
Yeah, that is true. You're talking about the Go Ahead, Make My Day?
Correct, sir. Correct.
That was not in that movie. It was in a later Death Pool movie.
Nice try, Jay Goobs.
Really?
Nice try.
Yes. It was in the Death Pool.
I have. No, not that. What he's talking about. Never mind.
Go. Yeah, he does have the. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. The most powerful handgun in the world that would blow your head clean off.
Clean off. So I know what you're thinking. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. It's a great pick, though. It's great one. If you knew RCW. If you knew
it might be the lowest out of all these picks.
What's that?
It might be the lowest out of all picks, but if you watch the movie, I really think he's just a terrible, awful person.
Well, it's what made the movie so great. That's why it's such an iconic movie. You know, Dirty Harry wouldn't be so iconic if he didn't have a counterpart, and that's what made it so great.
Now, do you think they based Scorpio off of kind of what was going on during the times? I mean, you got Son of Sam, you've got the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, he was based off. Yeah, you're right. He was loosely based off the Zodiac Killer. That's who he was based off of.
RCW, you've been saying he's the baddest of the bad guys, which makes you one badass bad dude. And you've been saying it for forever. You got me into the Dirty Harry series, and it's great stuff. I respect officers of the law.
Thank you.
Anytime, bud. All right. I think I'm on deck. Or I'm up to bat. On deck would be Jay Goobers. For my number one, I am going with the most intimidating enforcer in the galaxy. One Darth Vader. This guy, he's the only choke artist I respect. You know, he's the world's greatest dad. I can really relate to this character. You know what I mean? I'm always choking fools out when they don't agree with me. When I get angry and I have fear, I do some bad things. And if I ever had kids, they need to be taken away from me and raised by others. There's no doubt about that. My kid starts lipping back to me, I'll cut his hand off in a second, just like Vader did at the end of Empire. I love this series. Everybody knows that I do. Vader didn't need to run the show. You know, he was just gleefully running around the galaxy, enforcing the will of the dark side. Great freaking character. Took 3 films to show his story of redemption. I love these movies, and if you don't like Star Wars, I find your lack of faith forgetting lines. And it's also the same.
Well, it is no surprise that Q Diggity would go with the Star Wars character. And I think out of all the villains that we've all picked, Darth Vader would kick all their asses. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, how many times has probably Lord Vader been for one villain on meaningless lists?
The best is you forgot to mention that James Earl Jones played him, which
He
is a great actor.
He voiced him, Paul,
Voice.
obviously, in all of them. They hired a theater actor, a British dude, to do the original Star Wars. And he's kind of like a pipsqueak talking British fella. And the whole time, this guy thought that it was his voice that was going to be on the film. And he's running around yapping about, they're a traitor and a liar, and we're going to catch them. And he was a little disappointed to find out James Earl Jones came in with that thunder voice to knock him out of the park.
Yeah,
he was a big fella though, wasn't he? Wasn't he like 6'4", 6'5"? I mean, he was a big guy, I thought.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure James Earl Jones couldn't have done those lightsaber fights.
Yes, that's correct. No way.
Yeah, I don't think.
He's a bad dude.
One last comment. Yeah, the original 3 Star Wars were the best. I don't like when they try to do all these other ones. The more new ones are good, but those 3 that had all those Senate meetings and whatever and Jar Jar, come on. The original 3 are where it's at.
Original 3, baby.
I think by the time we die, they might be 100 something, Star Wars 102 or something like that. The way they're going, they're just pumping them out now.
They've halted production on a lot of their newer stuff. Get with the times.
All right, let's wrap this up, fellas. I'm gonna go with my last pick, and as you guys can see, it's Colonel Hans Landa, aka the Jew Hunter. Inglourious Bastards is one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. I think we talked about it in an earlier video. This guy is just for me, he stole the movie and there's a ton of great actors in that movie, but he stole it for me. He was awesome. I think he won the best supporting actor for this movie in the Oscars. Dude, every scene he's in is awesome. From the get-go, right off the bat, the scene where he's with the farmer and they're hiding under the floorboards, and him drinking that milk. And dude, every scene he's in is just awesome. That movie, I think really jump-started his career. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what he was doing before that, Christoph Waltz, but after that, I mean, it's been, I don't know. That's a career starter, and that movie was awesome, and his character was awesome.
What was with him and Derry? I mean, there was a scene in France, too, where he's like, wait for the cream.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
another great scene.
He might be the most articulate all-time villain, I mean, the best articulate person as being a villain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what made him so great. He was so quirky, too. Like, you didn't really know what he was going to say. He was just a weird dude and a bad dude at the same time, but it is great at the end. He gets what's coming to him, and that's, obviously what makes the movie great.
He was cold.
Something you can't take off.
Oh, yeah.
He was straight cold-hearted, Jay Goebbels. My boy Vader did his job because he loved it. Landa did his job because he was so damn good at it. He didn't have anything personal against the people they were eradicating.
Yeah, remember, he didn't actually like the name Jew Hunter, but he was so good at it, that's the name that was given to him.
Mm-hmm. Them crowds
another great scene is when he's makes the woman in the cast try on her shoe. She already knows she's caught. He already knows she's caught, but he still makes her try on the shoe just to cement that he knew that she left that shoe in that barroom massacre and that he had her red-handed.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
That's a bingo.
That's a bingo. I believe you just say bingo.
Well, YouTube, I think this is the closest we've ever gotten to 17 minutes. So I'm going to say peace out.
Peace, YouTube. Rock and roll.
See? Good times, baby.
That's a bingo.